Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the No Shot Podcast. I'm Jared, joined by my two friends, Joe and Michael. Oh, say what's up, fellas.
What's up, fellas?
So,
fellas.
So the Scuffcast, producer Jared's in the building. Chris made his move to Austin, and he left his computer and everything back where he was
Too
living.
poor to pay power bill.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! It's already toxic.
Was that too
much? Michael has been more toxic in this 10 seconds, and we've been toxic.
Dude, I got like 2 years. I got 2 years just loll of it.
That's so funny.
And so, oh my god! And so,
let it rock.
So Chris right now he's not here right now, and so we got our boy Michael. We all know Michael. Michael's our boy. But yeah, we coming in the future. We all saw the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie. We're gonna talk about that, and so look out for that.
Yeah, totally saw that.
It's our boy Michael. So
who's your favorite character?
Yeah, who's your favorite
Back
Jujutsu
alive.
Kaisen, Michael? Who's your favorite Jujutsu Kaisen character,
Kaisen.
Michael? Yeah.
Yeah, Kaizen.
Kaisen's your favorite character?
Oh yeah. He rocked,
Yeah,
man.
Kaizen.
What about Jujutsu?
Nah, that's just a martial arts.
Okay, fair enough. Got a point there. Hey, what's the country of origin of Jujutsu?
Oh shit.
Come on. Think of your
Isn't it,
girlfriend, Michael.
Is it really Japan?
No, it's Brazil.
Right, so I was like Brazil. Then I was about to say South America, and then I was like, isn't that judo?
No, Jujutsu Kaisen. It was made in Japan though. But
Okay.
Michael, do you watch any anime?
Not anymore.
What have you seen?
I recently.
Just in general, at all time.
The last Japanese anime I've watched was Miyazaki.
Never heard of it. Oh, it's
Studio Ghibli.
Isn't Miyazaki?
Totoro and all that stuff.
Miyazaki?
I thought Miyazaki's somebody else.
I think he's the guy who created something. I forget who.
Miyazaki's
the Attack on Titan guy, isn't he?
No, Miyazaki's the guy who made Dark Souls.
Oh yeah, that's oh fucking yikes.
One of the most famous directors of any anime. He's like the most famous
Ghibli
director of anime. Ghibli.
Cool
note. My girlfriend's grandparents actually worked for Toei, which was where Miyazaki worked first, and then moved on to Studio Ghibli. So they know him.
Oh wow!
And used to have lunch and shit with him.
They work for Toei.
Well, hey, Michael. I don't know if you know about
they were
this.
Animators.
So they made a penny every frame.
I don't think we don't support Toei around here. We don't support Toei around here.
Oh no? Why not?
They're kind of cringe right now.
They're kind of cringe the way that they treat content creators and stuff. They're kind of.
Oh shit!
Well, I mean,
But which content creator?
Grandparents, so they retired,
But which arc are we getting next? Can we?
Yeah, any spoilers, Michael? Tell them to hit us up. Hey, Tom, come in for an interview on the No Shot Podcast.
Hey, yo, if we can get Miyazaki, that'd be huge.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That'd be huge.
We gotta mispronounce Studio Ghibli the entire time.
Studio Ghibli.
That'd be a great way.
Studio Ghibli from iCarly. Okay, so Michael's girlfriend, she's Japanese. I just out of the blue texted Michael, yo, Michael, girlfriend's Japanese. Yo, you like hentai?
We're laying in bed.
Do you like hentai? Oh, so you're laying in bed with her when I asked you?
Laying in bed with her, on my phone. I think we were fucking looking at the phone together. And then boom, text you like hentai. And so we have I was like, all right, so yada yada. She was like, what is that? I'm like, what do you mean, what is that?
What do you mean?
I explained it's anime porn. She's like,
it's your culture.
Well, what is it what do you mean? And she's like, well, hentai is like a pervert. And I was like, what? She's like, it's a person. She's like, people that take pictures of schoolgirls, they're perverts. She's like, so they're called a hentai. It's a adjective, right? Just that person's hentai because they're a creep. And so hentai isn't, at least as far as she knows, and she wouldn't necessarily know because she's so sheltered. But it's not like porn itself. It's the person and people that would watch that type of stuff. And then, of course, it's just one of those words that got taken and
That's
changed.
crazy.
Like sushi isn't a sushi roll. They call a sushi roll California roll. Like, imagine saying California with a Japanese accent. I can never do it because it's so funny. So yeah, it's one of those words that, like, we took sushi and like blanket term, right? So it's another blanket term. So it's one of those things. Yeah. But yeah, so hentai is a person. So anyone that watches hentai is a hentai, essentially.
See, this checks out because I have a buddy that I play Arma with who's Japanese, and he explained the same thing to me. So,
oh really?
This so yeah. Dude, I just out of nowhere, I was just talking to John Chris. So like we were talking about, I don't know how hentai got started. Like hentai, I was like, ooh, I wonder if Michael likes hentai. Then I just get this whole descriptive text message explaining me what hentai actually is, and I was like, yo, that's great. This is not what I signed up for, but I love it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, and then like you were like, cool.
I was like, yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah,
cool. All right.
I'm not a very texty person.
Yeah, me neither.
I did send some paragraphs, so
I apologize. I did not reciprocate the feeling. What you sipping on, Michael? They look pretty thick.
Yeah, it's a healthy smoothie. It's got some good stuff in there. Spinach, bananas, yogurt, grapes, strawberries, and
protein,
something else. So just being healthy. No, I didn't come in that.
Not that one.
That one. That's my morning shake.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not today.
The morning wood shake.
Today. Yeah, exactly.
That's so. Hey, one thing. Our boy Michael's back to feeling like himself.
Yeah, human being again. Alive.
Mans was going through it.
No longer a vegetable.
One thing that people don't realize, we joke about it, but one thing that people don't realize, and I don't think people understand, is how serious of a thing fucking Lyme disease is. And our boy Michael got smacked in the fucking face. One day we all just playing like video games together, and next thing we know, Michael's just fucking
gone.
Dead. Like, he's just gone. We're like, yo, why haven't we heard from Michael in a while? Let's check in on him. And he goes, oh yeah, fucking, you know what my mom and sister have? Yeah, me too. Fucking hashtag me too. And we're like, damn. And so, what?
Like, I'll be checked out for another 2 years. Let me just come back to you.
Yeah, literally, like just 2 straight years of just never hearing from Michael.
And
I was I don't know if you want me to go into it right now or a little bit later.
But, go for it, dude.
Yeah, let's go.
This the Michael. This pod title is going to be called the Michael episode.
The Michael cast.
The Michael cast.
The Limeys.
The rag out of the pod. Rag in the pod. Rag in the cast.
I don't think we're doing that one.
We're not.
Lime in the rag. Okay. Lime out of the bag.
Lime in the rag. Come in the rag. Lime in the rag.
I'm out of the bag.
Isn't that what they do in prison? So they beat you with it?
What, sock full of nickels?
No, they just know that they come.
I'm sorry, quarters.
They come so much on a rag, it gets so hard that they hit you.
It's kind of like big.
I can't wait for you to tell your family. Yeah, I was on the podcast with the boys. You guys should listen to
it. I've specifically, not mentioned it for that exact reason. No, so I got bit a couple of times. I got bit in September of 19, and the doctor was like, "Oh, don't worry about it." So in North Carolina and a couple other states, there's laws that you cannot treat Lyme for whatever fucking reason, just because they want people to suffer, like me. And so this doctor was like, "Oh, I can't give you, more than 5 days." And I was like, "Listen, my sister, spent the past 10 years dealing with this. I don't want to do that." And he was like, "Oh, okay, I'll give you, more than a week." And I leave and then check the prescription. It was 5 days. I was like, "That fucking bastard."
Doctors suck.
So if I was someone that would sue, I would sue the dick off them. But anyways, or at least write a bad letter. I would 100% get them, not disbarred, but whatever the other word is for medical people, because he took 2 years of my life.
So to put it in context too, September 19, you had just graduated college.
No, so I graduated college in May. And then there was that whole
May
shit
of 19. Did you graduate the same
company? Same as you, yeah. I went to
May 19. Yeah, so you so I was saying, yeah, so you already did you say this happened September 19?
Yeah, so in September of 19 I got bit, and then again in April, and in April I got Rocky Mountain spotted fever, which was awful. So so basically it kills you in a week. It like there's an 85%. Of course, all these numbers are wrong, which I should have researched beforehand.
Hey, just blame it on the Lyme,
but my grandma came over. Anyway, so it kills you. It'll kill you. Like Lyme will just ruin your life and eventually kill you. If you don't get treated, Rocky Mountain spotted fever is like boom, kills you. And the test takes like 2 weeks or like a week and a half. So it's like, why would you test?
Yeah,
if it's
why would you
kill
test
you before you get the results?
This is wraps.
Yeah, so I went to the hospital eventually because I called the doctor and was like, hey, blah blah blah, like I ache all over and I can't, like I literally, you would tell me something and like I would, like this is the first time it started to where, this of course went on for 2 years. You would tell me something, I wouldn't remember it. Like I wouldn't remember what I'd done that day. I wouldn't remember like anything. And I talked to the doctor a couple times, and they're like, "All right, you've called a couple times. You need to go to the hospital because it's been X amount of days, and you are having headaches and everything. So it's a serious problem." And I was like, "It's not that bad." And I was like, all right, I'll go to the hospital. And of course, this is in the middle of COVID, like right when it started, April 20th or April 2020. And so they basically like didn't care about me because I didn't have COVID, and they were more concerned that I had a STD for some fucking reason because this doctor was like wanted to test for it. And thankfully, I don't have STDs.
What'd you have?
Yeah, I tested positive for Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
That's an STD.
That's an STD.
Yeah. No. Although, if any of you fuck with me, I'll drive over and just like inject some of my blood into your.
Jesus Christ.
And kill you. Anyways.
If only I could be sorry.
Oh my God.
So I shouldn't have said that. Anyways.
I
forgot this is. I'm gonna stop doing stuff like that. But so it got to the point where I couldn't walk, and then to the point where like I literally couldn't walk. I had to use crutches. I used walking sticks instead of crutches because I couldn't use crutches. Walking sticks are a little bit easier, and but I lost the ability to speak for like weeks. I first I couldn't, like I just couldn't get a sentence out, and then it was like it started with like I would get a couple words in and then come to a path, and it was like, all right, well, what's the next word in the sentence? Do I like say this one or do I say this word? Like I couldn't get any further. Like I do 3 words and then like not know what the next word is supposed to be. Like I knew the intention sort of, and then I got stuck on like, well, what's the next word? And then like I would forget what the whole thing I was trying to say. And then I look at whoever's talking to me like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Like I don't know what's happening. And so that way, like I couldn't get past a number of words. And so I couldn't say anything. I could write fine. And so I couldn't write fine, but I could like get some words out writing. So I ended up just having to write stuff. And so I couldn't walk for a long time. I was in a wheelchair for a couple months, actually more like a year. Every once in a while, I would use the walking sticks around the house, or I would just
Sorry, you said I was in a wheelchair for a year, and I just see Joe crack a smile.
I can't see you guys.
You can't see us?
Yeah.
You can't see us?
No, I can't see you. It's loading. I guess the Wi-Fi in this area dropped.
Well, we see you.
Yeah, I see you just fine.
Yeah, so wheelchair for a year, haha. Which was great.
I didn't know you were in a wheelchair.
Yeah, man, it sucked. Yeah, so
I feel like stairs are pretty tough.
Because how often were y'all commuting from North Carolina to Virginia?
Well, I had a doctor's appointment every month. Up in DC, there's a great our doctor's a great the Jemzik Clinic. They're really good. The Dr. Jemzik used to work on HIV in Charlotte, and and then he did another infectious disease up in. He was in North Carolina for Lyme, and then North Carolina has those laws, so he moved up to Virginia and DC. So they're really great. I have some great doctors there. I eventually, after I think in June, because we did a couple this is like on an online call because I was starting to have seizures, which wasn't fun. And so there's different levels to seizures. They're not just like the one where like you black out and you like. I didn't have the blackout kind. I had the kind where I was awake, which was great. So the first time it happened, I was like walked like in circles, like in the kitchen. Like I didn't know what I was like. I came to the kitchen and like didn't know what the fuck I came to the kitchen for, and like I was doing circles, and then like all of a sudden like I fell sort of like I like slowly like collapsed, and then I remember I was like laying on the ground, and like I like all my muscles were tense, right, and so I was locked in a position and like shaking, right, but like my mouth like shut closed, and like it took like.
Were you coherent at all when this happened, or is this what people are telling
I
you?
I was no, I was 100% lucid. Is that the right word? I was 100% awake. 100. I remember all
So
of
you're
it.
aware of everything that was happening around you.
I was aware how bad it hurt. I was aware, like, oh, this isn't supposed to happen. But I'd seen my sister.
What did it feel like? Because like I've seen like my dad's had seizures. I've seen people have
Yeah.
them.
It's not great. I don't recommend it. Although people that do have them, like it's just one of the things you got to get through. Anyone that's had Lyme for long enough, you have to accept that you're gonna deal with that stuff. And I always, when my parents would see me, like I would always try to say something funny, just because like it was more like it got to the point where I got so used to the seizures that like it was annoying versus like it never really like bothered me to the sense of like I was so messed up that I was more concerned about like my parents getting
The well-being
upset.
of everybody else rather than your own.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which kind of was like a sort of, I guess, defensive like mechanism in a sense. But like it freaked them out. Yeah. Anyways, so it feels so my mouth was like wired
Clenched,
shut,
yeah.
and yeah, and I mean, you're so tense. Like I couldn't move any muscles because they were so locked in position, and also at the same time, like you're shaking and whatnot, and it
Did it
doesn't
feel like a
feel.
massive like cramp or spasm?
Yeah, it's because you're so locked. It feels like
Yeah.
a cramp, and then it's sort of like it's like a brain thing, right? And then you
Mhm.
just kind of feel it all through. Like it's not great. You're stuck, and because you can't move, right? Like it's one of those. It's an awful. Yeah,
it's like you're just
you're
getting
stuck.
shocked because it's it's the electric connectivity in your body that's just fucked up.
Yeah,
And so it's just like you're
yeah.
constantly
It's
getting
like
tased a
it's
little bit.
twitching. Yeah, it's like yeah, you're doing that. So like how every once in a while you can twitch.
Mhm.
Imagine that, but like for like 10-15 minutes.
Fucking
Um,
that's how long yours lasted?
yeah, I had
Holy
one.
shit.
I was at a doctor's appointment, and I started having one, and it literally went on for 30 minutes. Um, and like
Was it the full blown
I was
like
able to.
was it the full
No, it
blown
wasn't
tense?
well, they started giving me lorazepam, which is what I would take I
Mhm.
would have a pill, and whenever I mean, this like it happened all the time. Whenever, and it was always like they would find me, like because I couldn't
I'm
like
sorry.
be
I could
like,
just
hey, I'm
imagine
having a
they're
seizure.
like, hey, yo, where's Michael at? We haven't seen him in a little bit. And this is you just being like,
I
fuckers,
know.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Help.
No, well, part of it was like to some degree, I was like, all right, like because you accept that you're having it, because like when you're laying like it for long enough, you're like, all right, I'm here. Like, might as well wait for it to go away, because like there's nothing I can do
Mm-hmm.
while I'm here to make it stop. Like, you just have to wait it out, or hope that someone finds me and can stick a pill in my mouth. And one of the funny things, so I was swallowing, like sort of swallowing the pill, at first when they would like stick it in my mouth. And then I went to the doctor and like, all right, since you're having such bad problems, here's a party trick. Put it under your tongue. And I was like, oh, because it would dissolve and be quicker. And so what I would do is I would break it, like bite it, and then get it under my tongue. And that would quicken the process. And then they gotta get sent to bed and go lay down.
The fastest way they could have done that would probably been pretty tough.
Bullet in my head?
I was gonna say just shove
like a boof it.
I was gonna say shove the pill up your ass. Straight into the bloodstream.
But if he's seizing, wouldn't that like clench the butthole?
Oh, dude! I mean, like seriously, everything is clenched.
Even your butthole.
It's all clenched, but at the same time, like, how the fuck is it shaking if you're clenched? You know?
Yeah.
It's not great. I'm just gonna say that a bunch. It's not great.
It sounds like a blast.
I got found on the ground. Like sometimes I would. It got to the point where I'd have like 5-6 seizures a day when it was the worst.
How early could you tell? Like you could feel them coming on.
Yeah. So there's, you know how like with a migraine, there's like an aura. If you've heard about that, sort of like that. It started with, especially if I was walking, stumbling, I should say. Because I would literally, when I wasn't using my walking sticks, I would just like hold on to the counters. Because the other problem is you can lose, and this is what happened to me. You lose your balance. So part of it was like I was falling over all the time because I didn't have balance, and so I'd have to hold on to like the walls and stuff. And then I had those like, good days where I could walk for 10 minutes around the house. And if I would like walk in circles or just like didn't, like it was always like a circle of like, oh, repeating myself. And like, then it's like you start to notice that like I'm starting to zone out a little bit. And then you get the like little twitch. And the one that would always get me is it started in my butt cheek. Like it would
back to the butt.
Yeah, so it would like, I don't know if it's gonna show, but like it would like start doing this.
You get the stanky leg.
Yeah, it would just start. So like twerking. I'd be sitting at dinner, I'd be like rolled up on my wheelchair in dinner, and then all this sudden like fucking... that. And like it's like I'm awake the entire time. So then I get wheelchaired out of the dinner table after I'd scared everyone.
Dude, I wish
Michael, you're scaring everybody.
I wish you could see the reactions every time you say anything. I look at Joe, and then I know
he's smiling.
No, he's not smiling. What happens? This happened earlier. Is you'll be describing something, and I'll look at Joe to see how Joe's like reacting to it. Because this is the first time both of us have heard a lot about this. Like you've said, yeah, I've had seizures. You've had XX and X, but it's never been explained in this much detail. And so I'd like to see like how Joe's reacting to it. Because you've probably had,
I'd like to see that. But,
I mean, you'll see it. Hey, whenever this shit gets posted, you'll see it. But like, I'll check this. I feel like you're gonna watch this back and be like, wow, my friends fucking suck. Because I'll look at Joe, and then Joe will realize that I'm looking at him. Then he'll look at me, and you'll be saying something fucking hellacious. Like you'll be talking about having a seizure, and then Joe and I just start cracking up because
we're children.
We're looking at each other, and it's just like, this is the worst. I was like, damn, am I going to post this or not? Because it's just Joe and I laughing while you're talking about it.
It also didn't help to like in between that and another server, somebody like said some shit and I thought it was funny. So like I'm trying not to laugh, and by trying not to laugh, it's going to make Jared laugh because he's going to look at me, and then we're both going to start laughing because that's how we work.
It's good to laugh, man. So, I really don't care.
I mean, it's not funny. Like
no, it is to me. Like, and that was the thing is like I would, it's like it got to the point. I mean, like if you have 5 of these a day for a year,
you got to find a way to cope with it. You gotta...
Like, yeah, so you get enough to where it's like, fuck it, all right, it's like funny,
and they'd be like 15 minutes each. So you basically spent like over an hour a day
just seizing,
like almost 2 hours a day just seizing. I
mean, besides having actual Lyme disease, I bet that's why you're so fucking tired, because you're basically.
Dude, I mean that's such a workout in a sense.
Yeah, you're just fucking sitting there, you're like, all right, squeeze.
I mean, exhausted.
Working out his core.
Dude, I can't imagine you like having sex and then you're about to finish, and then you just feel that leg twitch.
I'm happy you're not imagining him having sex.
You're just sitting there, you feel that leg twitch, you're like, fuck.
I'm about to go crazy.
And you're like, she's like, oh my God, you're so hard right now. And you're like, I know.
Just doing the shake, like, oh, keep doing that.
I think that's a bit in like a TV show or a movie where like someone has a seizure while having sex. Like, oh my God, that's the best I've ever had. So,
can you do that again?
The worst transition in this podcast.
Yeah, I do it 5 times a day.
All right, now time for the worst transition in the history of this podcast. So you got your Lyme from a tick bite.
Yeah.
Were your mom and sisters, was that hereditary, or was theirs also from a tick bite?
So that's the tough part, is like there's not enough research
to show
to fully know. And of course, I like am just coming out of it, so I'm still learning how to be a human again. So I am positive I've heard all this information before. I don't remember it. Right?
Hey, motherfucker, so you should hear me you should hear me explain to people Lyme, because I'm like, I know the bare minimum of it. I was like, I read the Lyme Warrior website. I've talked to Michael. I'm out here.
Lyme, ain't that a fruit?
I'm out here spitting a bunch of misinformation at people. But
yeah.
Big.
Yeah, it sucks. Sorry, what was this transition?
It was where's your sister and your mom? Do you know if
they
were hereditary or bite?
So ticks are really common around here.
Mm-hmm.
So like tick bites are really like just like happen all the time.
They're popular,
especially out in the farms. So like before we knew, like I would get ticks all the time, and like you were like, oh, they're a tick, you gotta pull them off. Like you didn't really think about Lyme disease. At least we didn't necessarily. And like all we thought about was Rocky Mountain spotted fever, because you see it, like it happens, whereas Lyme hides. And so Lyme you get in your body, and there's co-infections with Lyme. So it's a bunch of different types of bacteria that get in there and just wait. So they build up in different spots. And that's the tough part with treating Lyme, especially with my sister. Like she was sick for 2 years before they even tested for Lyme. So imagine being, a 10-year-old and just feeling awful, like it's like incredibly sad to think about.
You don't know what the fuck's happening, and no one can tell you why. And you're just like, what
the fuck? And then she had doctors that were like, "You're just making it up."
Yeah, doctors like, suck, dude. I hate doctors. Besides, there's some good ones. A majority of doctors fucking suck.
Horrendous, like how they treated her. Yeah, I mean, just horrendous. So she was sick for 2 years before they said she figured out she had Lyme, and then it took another 4 years to get the right doctor for Lyme. And I mean, she's been sick 12 years almost, dealing with it. So it's tough. She had Rocky Mountain spotted fever when she was 5. I think she got bit in her ear where we couldn't see it. And
how do you get that? Is that also from a tick bite?
Yeah, so that's a tick bite. That's why I said it's the more known one, because you have the fever, you have the bullet, what they call a bullet. So it's like a bullseye. I'm sorry, bullseye, not bullet. Yeah. Bullseye. You get a fever, it's really noticeable. Whereas Lyme, like I said, it hides. It doesn't as soon as you get it. Rocky Mountain spot hits you. Lyme, like I said, it hides in your body, builds up, waits for you to get sick with whatever it is, and then it's like, oh, you're weak, bam, gonna start attacking everything. So it could be a little bit hereditary for my mom. So she worries about that all the time and feels bad, and we're like, you didn't do anything, you didn't choose to give it to us, even if you did. Yeah, there could be a little bit of hereditary, but we've all been bitten, so we can't say that for positive really if it was. Yeah, can't if we never been bitten and we got it, yeah, sure. But having been bitten, we can't, I don't feel comfortable saying that, and the doctors,
So then if you probably don't know the answer to the question. So if you get bit, can you then pass it if you have it?
So there's research on that. I was really worried for Ayaka. like giving it to her. The research there for a while they were unsure, but there's new research that says like no, you can't pass it sexually. So yeah. Jossie, so when you're pregnant, you can pass it to your child though. So she's basically just gonna have to be on antibiotics for 9 months or 10 months or whatever. And then she won't be able to breastfeed because of that. So I mean that's part of just what it is, and she's it's like it's just what it is. One of those things she just has to work through. It is what it is.
The part that was kind of crazy to me about this is, so you mentioned earlier that in North Carolina probably tick bites are more common than living in where we lived in Virginia.
Yeah, 100%.
But the doctors don't treat it down there.
Yeah, it's
that makes
the
no sense.
Government,
it's the government. Government sucks, bro.
Go figure. It's
no,
always the
it
government.
really is. There's legislation, and that's what the doctor is like. Well, there's legislation in North Carolina where I can't give you antibiotics for X amount of time.
But
it doesn't make sense. It's stupid.
Why?
That's why.
So
I mean,
crazy
like
that
I
would
said,
even exist.
So that's why.
Yeah, like I wouldn't have it if I was allowed to have a doctor in North Carolina that was able to give it to me. We go to DC for a reason. It's because we're able to get treated up in DC.
That's why there's that foundation Lyme Warrior where their main goal is getting money and providing it to people so they can receive care from motherfuckers that can actually help them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, without organizations like that, I mean, I am disabled. I should have applied for disability.
Can you get that disability check?
I haven't. Well, so like, I couldn't, I couldn't even do anything. Like I had trouble reading a book. So like, how am I going to apply for disability when I'm disabled? Like that's like some of that is like stupid. Like, like I don't know. Anyways, and then the other problem is
Joe to be your full-time care assistant.
We'll move to North Carolina.
I mean, will I get paid? Like it's
you steal Michael's disability checks. That's how this works.
Big. I'll do it.
Well, the other trouble is because Lyme isn't recognized. Like how the government doesn't want to give you disability because you don't have a disease.
Like fucking, it's called.
Like, why
Lyme
am I in a wheelchair? Why
it's
am I? Why do I have
it?
And so that was. So
it's in the name.
I don't know if I mentioned this yet. I showed this earlier. In June, we had a call with the doctor.
June,
when I was
what year
having
is that?
these
2020 or 2021?
This is 2020. So this is like 3 months. I guess this is more. They started saying like, "Hey, you're probably gonna have to have an IV port because you've had such a bad case."
This is 9 months post bit, right? It's like 9 months post.
No. This is so I got bit in. Well, I got bit. The Rocky Mountain. We're gonna count April as the real bite. So this is 3 months later.
Oh, fucking.
This is like 2 months later. I mean, it was quick. I went downhill quick, and they were like, "Hey, if you don't do this, you're having too many seizures. Your brain's gonna get way more affected. They were like, you need it. Like, if you don't do this, you're one of those patients that, like, this is a, I don't want to say life and death, but it was like you're gonna have a good brain, or you're gonna have like a dead brain, or you're gonna have an okay brain, or you're gonna have like a really, really.
It's gonna be like you were fucking snuffing inhalants forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Scuff brain.
And so like they were talking about it. I was like, oh no. And then eventually I got to the point where I was like, okay, whatever, because I like literally like I was like this all the time. And I had terrible light sensitivity, so I don't have my beanie around here, but and like I would go everywhere with a beanie, like all the way down, right? I would have a beanie to here, and then I would just have it down here so I wouldn't see all the lights. So I'd be in a wheelchair with a beanie all the way covering my eyes, like getting wheeled around.
Man, doing his best Stephen Hawking impression.
Pretty much. If Stephen Hawking wore a beanie.
Well, he's also dead. So.
Edgy Stephen Hawking.
Yeah. where was I? Shit. Yeah. So I got an ID port in June, and they like it was like, all right, you're gonna do this. I was like, well, how long? And they were like, a year. And I was like, I'm gonna be sick for a year. They're like, well, actually, you're gonna be sick for like you're gonna be on medicine for 3 years. Like what?
Explain
Because
to
like you
them the
like
whole port thing, like what they did
okay,
to
yeah.
you, the way that you did to us before
Yeah,
we
yeah.
started recording.
So, all right, so this is cool, and I really wish I had shown this when I had it. I wanted to show this thing to everyone, and no one wanted to see
we
it,
saw
which
it.
I was
You showed
upset
it to
about.
us.
Yeah, like I showed it to
Mhm.
you. And like if it was up to me, I would show every person that walked in the house, like, hey, do you want to see me do an IV port? Because I was on that thing for like 3 hours a day.
Michael
It's
on
not
that
4.
drip, dog.
So yeah, so here it is. So you can't really see it as much anymore
the
because it's
lighting's not
faded. Hold up, the lighting's awful.
It's the exposure. Turn a light on behind you or something if you can.
All right, let me turn the lights on.
Ooh, why are there paper towels over by that couch, Michael? What you been doing?
I don't know. My dad's up here.
Oh shit.
No, I'm kidding. That better?
Yeah,
there
you can see it better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the where it came out. So first they cut. I can still feel this. They cut an incision here, and they go into the vein, and so they have to use an ultrasound to make sure they go into the vein right. And then they stick a tube down, and they stick another tube, another tube, another tube, and then kind of get bigger each time. And then they have this tube hanging out. Actually, I'm sorry. Before they do that, they cut here and here, right? And there's no connection, but they have to get this port over my collarbone and down out. So they get a metal rod, like a big one, and they stick it in, and then they just shove it, right? They just all the way through, and they break the skin, right? Suffocating skin, and all the way up to here, and they have this thing out, and then they can whip it down through, and it hangs out, and it hung out like down to here. So I have 3 scars. I have this one, and then my mental scar. Because it was like the dangle was always right here. So even though it was here, like it was always hanging here. And so the mental scar is right here. And I've sort of gotten over it. It was there for a long time. Like I would always in the shower, like I wasn't comfortable. Yeah, I could feel it even though it wasn't there. Like it was bad for a while. And then I have really sensitive skin. You can't, of course, see this because of the lighting in my shirt and whatnot. But I had a square little patch of like a bandage on, clear bandage, and we finally switched to a better one. But for the first like 8 months, we had this shitty one that they recommended, and it's a little bandage. But my chest was bandaged like 24/7, except for
you can't get that shit wet, right? You can't.
Yeah, you can't get it wet. I mean, the whole procedure, we had to learn. You just got
an open hole in your chest for a year.
Yeah, so we had to learn a whole procedure on how to clean it. So I had to lay down, and mom had to lay out a blanket, like a blanket, and then like a blanket, and then like had to put gloves on, like had to like do surgical gloves like a really proper way where she don't touch anything. And if you mess up, you gotta throw away and get a new one. And then you had all these alcohol swabs, and you clean it, and then you do it again, like all this crazy stuff.
Is that an everyday thing, or like twice a day, or like?
No, it was I want to say every 2 weeks.
Oh, that's okay. As you said, that's not that bad. That you should like, oh, but it's still fucking.
No, not that bad. Yeah,
it's not that bad.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. Some means they'd have to rip off, and of course it was hard. So you had all these solutions to get off the stickiness. I mean, and you peel it off, and then there's just like goo all over. You got to alcohol wipe, but then you're alcoholing it, and so your skin hasn't touched air,
Yeah, and you're just fucking.
Except for when you pull it off, and then you just rub alcohol over it, right? So it was so dry. It's awful.
You just have like, is that skin just like a little bit fairer than the rest of your skin? Or is it fine now?
It's fine now. I don't know if you can see it. You can sort of stupid lighting. You can sort of see it. It's a mark right here. Yeah, you can see it. There we go.
Yeah.
You can see the outline here a little bit.
You should get a tattoo that just says like insert here.
I know, right? So I wanted a tattoo, and Ayaka, who's Japanese, is like got really upset. Like, like it was like a big deal. And I was like, what's the problem? And in Japanese culture, the only people that have tattoos are yakuza. And like you're not allowed to have a tattoo ever in Japan.
Well, it's a good thing you're not Japanese, Michael.
Well, that's what I said. And then she's like, I was like, well, I'm not Japanese. And she's like, well, if you ever live in Japan, which you are, you can't wear one. And if you have one, you're not allowed in onsens. I was like, what? And so because Yakuza have their own society, they have their own businesses, they have their own onsens, they have their own built like a whole community by themselves, and they separate themselves from the rest of Japan. So they're not allowed to interact with the rest of Japan's society. And so anyone that has a tattoo are considered Yakuza, and so they can't interact. And so there's a separation in the onsens. And there's the idea that tattoos taint the water. And she was like, you're not allowed in onsens if you have a tattoo. I was like, all right. And then I threw out the like, what about Holocaust survivors? Like they didn't choose to have that tattoo. And she's like, I guess they'd have to bandage it. It's like, seriously? And it's just that serious of a situation for Japanese society.
Well, so question.
Yeah.
So if you got like, so let's talk about Jared's stupid idea. So like let's say you got a tattoo there, but it's gonna be covered by your shirt, right?
Well, no.
What are they gonna do? Like make you strip and see it? Like I don't.
Do you know what an onsen is?
No.
You're saying shit. I don't know what that.
Sorry, I thought you knew.
No, I watch anime. I don't know.
Let me rephrase. let me rephrase. An onsen is essentially a public bath. It's you get naked and then you go into. It's like
no game, no life, Joe. No game, no life.
Yeah.
So
you get
question
naked, and then you go into this open shower area, but it's a little bit more enclosed. And then there's big baths, heated baths that you go into, and you can soak. So you're gonna see the tattoos because you're butt ass naked.
Now, what if you get it? What if you get it on your taint?
So then here's my next question.
Yeah.
Is that just how they bathe?
No, that's more. I mean, they have their own showers in there.
So they have their own private showers.
Yeah, it's
so you don't
have to. Do that.
You don't have to go to an onsen.
But yeah, but they're nice. They're.
I guess if you're like bathing with a bunch of men, yeah.
Well, so I was really worried about seeing a bunch of dong when I went. And
dude, we just watched Jackass yesterday. I don't think it don't matter.
Yeah, like I don't care about dong. Like I was like, fuck it, whatever. I've seen enough. I wasn't like worried from it's Japanese dong. Like it's not going to be anything scary. Like there's no monsters down there.
What if it's all censored?
Wait, so it's not censored? I just thought that's how they looked.
I mean, I guess hair censors it. I don't know.
Oh god.
You get samurai braids on their
just like cock. You get it's like localized cataracts. Yeah, so I was there and I don't like one old dude, but that was it. And like
it's always the old fuckers just walk around with their pecker out.
Are they all separated? Are they separated by sex? So like you gotta.
Yeah, so there's two separate ones. Yeah. So they separate it for that reason. So there's male and female. Some are like for little kids, they can go either way, like 6 and under kind of thing, or 7 or whatever under. They can go either one with their parents, typically to the mother's side. And Ike had mentioned there's some that are both, and then she went to one that had like a wall. Like it was the water and then a wall. So when they were kids, they just swam back and forth because it was fun under the wall. But there's it's like really the culture is they respect the rules they make a little bit more than America, where like rules are meant to be broken. Like it's super bad if you break laws and rules in Japan, whereas here it's like, yeah, that's what people do.
Who gives a fuck? Deshaun Watson just got
yeah, it's like
fucking.
Did he just like pay out the criminal charges?
No, it hasn't been resolved yet. He's not facing any criminal charges, but he's getting sued.
The whole thing could be a disaster for the Browns if it goes south.
Yeah, but he's a star quarterback, so who gives a fuck?
I mean, he can still get suspended. It's not like
nowadays they might actually do something. Thankfully,
Fucking doubt it.
No, they won't.
Goodell.
Yeah, no, it's true.
He'll get like a 2-year, 1-year suspension, and then
he already didn't fucking play last year.
it's not a suspension. He just didn't play because he didn't play.
Dude, imagine if the Texans just said, "Fuck it, we're sending him out there. He's playing anyways." That'd be crazy.
No, trust the process.
Do you remember, Michael? All right, you remember he was fucked from Lyme, right? How much do you remember of us coming to visit you?
I actually remember. I remember having a seizure because you guys were yelling so much.
Yo, wait a second. We gave you a seizure?
100%, yeah. 100%.
Was it?
I didn't say anything, but 100%.
Was it? Wait, were you having it while we're all together, or was it when you went down to your room?
No, I don't remember me having. It wasn't a big one, and I got the pill.
Oh, I do remember. I remember.
Yeah, I was in.
I remember.
And at that point, I had been able to kind of control it, like to where it wasn't like full out. I would do a little bit, which took more energy to make it, so I didn't shake as much. But it was fine. I mean, like I said, I'd had so many that, like, fuck it, it's gonna happen.
Those burgers were lit.
Those were.
Oh, they were. Yeah.
I like how you talked about your lack of. You're like, yeah, my memory was fucked. My mind wasn't working right. And then when we played Jackbox, you picked the most like thinking intensive game for us to play.
Well, so that was part of it. Was like the entire time. I mean, like you have to have a positive attitude on like I'm gonna get healthy. Like it was like if I'm doing all this effort, like I'm gonna get healthy. And I knew part of that was I could. Yeah, and like a part of it was like I had to challenge myself to be able to do it, and so that was part of it.
I mean, shit wasn't that challenging because every time it was just fucking Joe. Every single time it was just Joe.
I love
So he gets like the biggest. That was fun. He's like, I'm gonna challenge myself, and he gets together the biggest 4 idiots possible.
Oh my god! Hey, there was the guy you brought.
Yeah, you didn't like Darius?
He's still an idiot.
Like, there's 5 of us there.
Who was the 5th?
Jay Weeze.
Chris.
Oh, Justin was there. I forgot that. Like, I forget he's our friend sometimes. My bad.
he's just busy and successful, you know.
Go figure.
It's Jay Weeze, Chris, you, and me, and then random boy Darius.
And then you're,
Jared's twink.
My little twink Darius. Shout out Darius, man.
I mean, he fit right in.
Yeah, he fit right in.
Except for the whole coffee incident.
What?
It was one of those like alien questions about drinking coffee or something. Or one of the questions was like,
did your Lyme not fuck it up? That I got no memory of this.
Well, so that's the thing is like some of it I remember, but like that was such an important like moment. Like
it's stuck
going from like laying in bed all the time to like, hey, your friends are coming over that you haven't seen in years, and you're not going to see them in a while. Like I tried really hard to remember it, and so that was part of it.
I remember that alien game being a disaster because we're just so stupid. Like someone will read a prompt and do something just totally like Michael compared to like some of the other people was way more spot on than everybody else.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
And in that specific game, having Lyme is basically cheating because like we don't know. Like
I know.
Like so is he fucking up on purpose?
Yeah, well, that first time I was an alien, I was like, oh, I can fuck up and they won't know, and they'll think so I was like, I'm an alien or whatever.
It was OP.
It's broken.
It worked out.
It was OP.
Me and Joe were like aliens 3 times in a row or something.
That's so dumb because we had Chris, who's an idiot. We had Darius, who's an idiot.
Everyone was full of idiots.
We have Justin, who's pretty smart, but he's also an idiot. The whole thing was screwed. It was fun though.
No, that's a fun game.
I'm happy y'all were in Virginia because we were all planning on trying to make a trip out. We were trying to figure out the logistics of us trying to all get to North Carolina. I remember our mindset was much better. A big reason we went was to go see you was because there was a genuine, obviously we can talk about this now. There's a genuine conversation that we're like, we need to see Michael in case he fucking dies. Like we're like we need to we can't not see him if he's gonna fucking die. Because I remember
we didn't understand the logistics of everything. We were just kind of like
we had stuff that you told me. We had stuff like your mom had told us, and we're all like we need to go see him. It's like
that was pretty rough. That was what month was that?
It was July.
It was like a summer month.
June. It was
June.
So
I had just had my port.
You were showing us your port. This was you were still using your walking sticks.
Oh, I use it. I mean, I used those until I had the wheelchair.
Like those put a perspective for me. Like when I was like, "Oh, that's kind of crazy." Like,
and the stairs. Oh, that was awful going up and down stairs.
Those are some tall stairs too. Like,
that whole apartment stairs.
That was like the worst setup ever for like needing some form of like crutch.
And then my mom had a hip surgery, and like all those stairs were a mess for her.
I remember. I remember at your places where I discovered that the mask that I was wearing sucked. Because
the lighter test.
The only mask that I had ever worn at that point was I had a buddy who would let me use his gym just to work out in because there was no one else there. His sister made a bunch of cloth masks and gave me one. And it was this thick pink soccer mask that I wore when I went to Texas. It's what I wore when I went to Virginia. It's the one that I wore, and I remember being like, "Damn, this thing it was super thick cloth, and it was super fucking hot." So every time I would wear it, I would just be sweating. And I remember Justin gave me
chin masks.
And I remember Justin gave me shit because while we're at your place, I had it half. No, I didn't. I never did under the nose, but I was trying to sit far away from you, and I had it just down. And I remember he gave me shit, and I was like, my mask is fucking hot. And then he gave me a disposable one. I put it on. I was like, this is what I could have been wearing the whole fucking time. This is so fucking easy to wear. And I was so pissed.
Yeah, the K95s were good. We have a KN95. They're really, really nice. It's a open one at that.
Because what was
I have one I can't even wear right now.
Do you want to hear the bastardized version of the story that I tell?
Okay.
Of when I've tried to tell people about Lyme disease and why it's important for me.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what you.
So this is what I tell. This is my bastardized version of it. I was like, yeah, my friend Michael, he had just graduated college.
Yep.
You had a shit job. I didn't tell people about all the shit that you went through, but I was like, Michael had just graduated. He was doing some manufacturing stuff. He had something he made get patented, and he was doing some design stuff, and he was making really good money. Then he got fucked by Lyme and was knocked out for 2 years, and he's just now feeling better. That's my description of it, and that's how I describe it. I don't tell people how much you hated that job and how you're overworked and everything, but I was like, he graduated college, he had a full-time job where he was getting paid a fuckload of money, and then he got knocked on his ass.
Quit, and then took a summer off. Got a job in January at a company I didn't want to work for, but my grandma set it up, and worked there until April. It was supposed to be till May, and I was sick all the time, and they hated me for that. And then got let go because I was sick, obviously.
Sue him. Joe will be your attorney.
Well, they were like, you're getting let go because you haven't reported that you were sick. And I was like, what do you mean? I had reported to Wade, my supervisor, and they were like, oh, we didn't report to this other person. I was like, fuck it, whatever. I didn't like that. They were Wade was racist anyways. I was like, all right, fine.
Enough.
Something about being white where old white people are really cool with saying racist stuff to me, and I don't go at. I kind of want to see what they're gonna say, so I just nod and just in awe listen to what they say, and then
how do you live in North Carolina?
Says the person living in Texas.
Hey, I'm close to Austin, man. But my town is super conservative. You should have seen. They had a Beto rally here. You should have seen the shit people were saying about it. It was crazy. But so what's on the docket? Are we in the Michael come up arc? Are we in the come up arc?
Yeah. Yeah.
We had the sad, tragic backstory. Now we got the build up. We got the rising action.
Walking and talking.
What's on the docket for Michael? You talked about Japan. You going to Japan?
In the hospital, we call him walkie-talkie now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's my motto. It's walking and talking.
Walking, talking, wheeling, dealing, slinging dick.
No, I got walking and talking, stumbling and mumbling, and then dribbling and scribbling. Because I'm laying in bed, dribbling and scribbling what you want to write.
What about slinging dong?
Slinging and
sexing and pegging.
Slinging and
slinging and Megan. Ooh.
No, on the uprise.
Poking
I got a
and
small
token.
Etsy store.
Smoking and poking. Ooh, there it is.
Smoking and token. Yeah.
Smoking and poking.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't. Fuck it. It's important.
Smoking blunts, fucking cunts.
Yeah, they so because I was on those antibiotics for 2 years, I was doing what I call dog piss because it was a yellow bag that they came into me, and like it.
Yeah, they're coming inside you.
IV. Yeah, it was the dog pissed straight into it and into my heart. Anyway, so that gave me really bad stomach problems, and so they prescribed Drobenol, which is a THC pill, and THC, of course, has been used for cancer patients that have stomach problems, and of course, I had stomach problems very similar. And so first it was this pill, and they were like, "Well, we're thinking there's an option of doing Drobenol, which is a THC pill." Yes, and finally, I was like, "Finally!" My dad was like, I was like, "Finally!" And so I do those pills, and then my Hallie, my aunt, she brought some weed and like a one hitter. Started doing that, and then we started getting stuff up in DC and bringing it down to the farm. So I would smoke right before
that shit across borders.
I know.
I mean, there was a point. I guess we'll tell that later.
Yeah, but so I mean, I just had to smoke all the time, which I have asthma, so I was really upset about for a while, but it didn't bother me. And then there was this whole like my dad's super against it, so I wasn't comfortable doing it. And then Ayaka's super against it. And she's more okay because she's seen how well it works for my stuff.
I'd be like, I have a disease.
I don't think you should call his girl. I don't think you should call his girlfriend
not
bitch.
calling her a bitch. I'm just not calling her a bitch.
Yeah, all right, good.
Saying in reference, reference to your dad, in reference to him, it's like, sorry that I'm sick. Sorry that I'm chronically ill.
No. He was okay.
Michael's
with it.
rapper name, Chronically Ill. Never forget, Chronically Ill.
Chronically Ill. Yeah. No, he was okay with it. It was more just like, anyways. So they're all okay with it. And so I smoke every once in a while just because it's medical. Like I do it for fun sometimes.
He smokes every once in a while, but every time he hangs out with us, he smokes.
Well, all right. So listen,
I've never smoked with Michael, so I don't know what's happening.
I have.
Oh yeah, but that's true. We have. Yeah,
I never smoked with Michael.
Me and Michael did with Lexa.
Yeah, we did with Lexa. Yeah.
When did y'all do that? What is happening?
We just came over and hung out.
Yeah, Michael was like at my house. I think this was like during the like time where he'd play like Tropico 5 for like 12 hours a day.
Oh, this is in college.
This is the next time. So
this is the next time.
And then the next time we had Lexa come over and we did it, and then
And
Michael, y'all smoke in the basement? Did y'all go to a car or?
That's the basement.
She had you were token in Mama. Oven.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And and then like for 2 hours straight, they were like watching trippy videos on YouTube. I'm like, that's not how weed works. That's literally not how weed works. No, it's not. And I'm just like laying on the ground in the corner watching YouTube videos.
While they're on my computer. Do you remember me doing the art?
No, I don't remember the art.
No,
you don't remember
I can't wait. There's gonna be a pod episode where we get into the story about Joe being off a gummy. Do you know about that, Michael?
I think I've heard about it.
We can throw this in here. We can throw this in here because no one's listening. So Joe came down to Texas. I forgot which one this was for. This wasn't for the draft party or anything. You just came down.
Why was I down there?
I don't know. I think who paid for you to come down? Did Chris pay to fly you out? I don't remember what it was.
I think I paid this time.
I don't know, but Joe was just in Texas.
Yeah, I don't know why I was there.
And I'm like, yo, Joe, these gummies, they're gonna fuck you up. You're gonna take one. And he was like, all right, sounds good. And so I give him one, and it's like 30 minutes.
I know where this is going.
He's like, yo, I'm not feeling shit. I'm like, all right, man, take another. I had bought these gummies specifically just to give to my friends. And so Joe took the second one. 15 minutes later, man is folded. He's just sitting there. He's just saying
I wish I could see you guys, damn.
And he was just sitting there playing Mario Kart. We're playing Mario Kart. He could not. He just drove off the road every single time.
No. So at the first time we like the first like few races we had the assist on, right?
Yes.
And I was doing fine, right? I even won a race, right? And then Jared's like, "Wait, the assist is on. Let's turn it off." That was downhill from there.
The funniest part is Joe just couldn't form sentences. He couldn't say words.
I know that feeling.
He was like, "You, Michael." He was just sitting there. I'd be like, "Joe, you good?" And he'd be like,
"Yeah, just you," without laughing, but you get it.
He was sitting there.
I was pretty high.
I was just trying, and I kept trying to record Joe. I wasn't gonna send it to anyone. I just wanted so Joe could see it later. And he was getting so mad.
They don't record me. I don't like being recorded, period. That's like a big reason why I don't want to do the face cam. But you know, you have to get over it, I guess.
You gotta pay the bills.
Yeah. On the Patreon going crazy.
Yeah. Hey, if we get 10 likes on this podcast episode, Michael's gonna do an ASMR video describing how he would have to enter the IV into his port. All right, he's gonna do an ASMR video. All right.
And Michael, so back to the tattoo topic.
Yeah.
So what if you got like a hidden tattoo, like in your butt cheeks?
Yeah, what if you get the taint tattoo?
Like what's the purpose?
The taint tattoo.
You just want a tattoo, like because like what if you turn your butthole into a sunflower?
Yeah.
And then
what if you get a birthmark tattoo? Like they just tattoo something that looks like a birthmark on you.
Is the whole point just to like I have a tattoo?
We got it's to walk the line. No, so when you're walking around Japan, you're like, they don't know that I'm Yakuza.
Don't they have like pretty?
I'm cool with not being Yakuza.
Don't Yakuza have like pretty, like crazy tattoos?
Yeah, they have some really really cool tattoos, but
like they treat it like art, don't they? Like,
well, I mean, yeah, it's art. I mean, tattoo is art,
right? But specifically for them, it's like straight up body art.
No, really heavy body art. Of course, each thing means something different, but they're super racist, and they don't let white people in, gaijin in. So because it's Yakuza is like it's a Japanese organization, so they don't want white people or people outside of that organization. So there's no reason for them to let in non-Japanese people. On top of the fact that some Japanese people are slightly, I don't want to say racist, but
they are. Everyone's a little
xenophobic.
Racist.
Yeah, well, like they
what do they have against xenomorphs? What do they do?
Is that the right? Did I use the wrong word?
Yes, it's xenophobic.
No, you said it right.
Okay. Anyways, but they have like signs in some places that say Japanese only.
Oh wow!
It's also segregation.
Oh, yeah, wow. But there's like no laws against it. There's no laws against it because they don't have
I wouldn't be upset if they didn't like Americans that much. I wouldn't. It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense.
I've been told not to talk about that. So, no, but I mean, Japan's cool. Otherwise,
so we're at about an hour. We're a little over an hour, believe it or not.
Is that too much? All right.
No. I mean, we usually just keep it around an hour. So, do you have any last minute things you want to touch on, Michael?
Yeah. I guess most of that's done. Talked about seizures, not being able to walk, not being able to talk.
Smoking that dank weed.
I mean, it's a miracle drug, honestly. Like it got me walking. Like, boom. Miracle drug.
Hey, for some people, it knocks them on the couch. For you, it makes you stand.
I mean, that's what thing is. There's different.
Yeah, I know.
So many different forms that when you don't like. There's so much like stereotype and misinformation about it. Like I'm super upset about that because like me being able to tell people that I smoke is bad, right? Even though it's a really important medicine that I have to take.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to take it, but that's also like, if I don't want to like do stuff the rest of the day, then I don't have to take it, you know? Like if I feel like just laying down all day long, then yeah, you know, if I'm having a bad day or if it's raining, like I used to love rain, but rain brings in a pressure change. And so I just feel like shit. Like it kicks me back a couple months to like, oh, this is what I felt like, you know, back when I couldn't walk and like all my joints hurt and muscles hurt. I don't have seizures anymore, thankfully, but like my brain, like everything just gets flipped back on. And then I'm like, oh, I don't want to smoke. I don't want to smoke. And I smoke. And I'm like, why didn't I smoke in the morning? But like part of it's like I don't want to wake and bake, even though I should on rainy days. But there's such a you know, like cultural stigmatism about smoking that like I don't feel comfortable, even though I'm by myself on a farm where no one's here. Like I still don't feel comfortable smoking in the morning.
If you move to Japan or live in Japan, will you have access to it at all?
Hell no. Hell no.
So
hell no.
Why go?
Well, that's the tough part. Because Ike is there. Because Ike is there.
Because he wants to be animated.
Yeah, I want to. Wait, what did you say? Because
you want to be animated?
I want to. No. I heard that. What was it? How did you go to animate, or how did you enter an animate?
I say a lot of dumb shit.
You said something great. It was like, how did you go into it? I can't remember what it was. It was really funny though. Anyways, yeah, it's gonna be tough. I said, I'm sure it's gonna be tough, but basically that means I'm gonna try a bunch of different stuff. I'm gonna take a bunch of baths.
Smuggle it?
And what if you just shove a bunch of gummies in your butthole?
So it's not like there isn't marijuana in Japan, but it's not
regulated. Super. Because you buy all your shit at a dispensary, right?
Do I? No.
Oh.
Well, because like we don't have a medical ID, like a medical marijuana ID. Like I can't get one as a North Carolina resident without.
Don't incriminate yourself.
And that's part of it, is like I don't need to incriminate myself. Don't incriminate yourself. Because it's like federally, like you incriminate yourself by getting one because it's a state born. So we just go to shout out to District Connect in DC. They have been hooking me up this whole time, saved my life.
So you do buy it at a dispensary?
No, it's literally this dude that drives around in his car. And
DC's weird when it comes to weed.
Oh really?
Yeah, like we could literally do it, but we don't because we don't need to like get a whole process.
Get connected.
So District Connect, they have some really great deals for ounces. So we would just buy like an ounce at a time, 2 ounces or something. Crazy illegal, but you know, so is the disease. So fuck it. And I felt much more comfortable when I had my port. Because like when we were ever like, I was like, all right, I was about to say, you ever pack your just shit like click it in. Like I don't think I'm supposed to have like smoke in my
bong hit.
Straight.
Yeah, no, it was like scary. Every once in a while we get like
smoke in your lungs.
We would get like a little like air, and then like oh shit, and like pluck it off, and then like have to suck it out, and it was scary. I had blood, like I would, because I'd have this bag for like 2 hours and then switch another and I'd fall asleep with it in, and it's, you know, IV going in, and then if it goes in for long enough, then it comes back out, and so I'd wake up and then look and it'd be just this like red tube all the way up to the covered in blood.
You're like, damn, I'm dripping.
Yeah, at first it was scary, then I was like, oh, not again. Yeah, but so I felt more comfortable because like if I ever got pulled over, not that I was driving, but like on the drives down, I'd be like, I got cancer, bitch, even though I didn't have cancer.
Hey,
but like if I said I have Lyme, they're like, all right, shut up.
Said, you got Lyme, bitch, why you lying, huh?
What's that? Ain't that a fruit?
Yo, ain't that a fruit? It's like, bitch, I got a banana. What you mean?
So
yeah, I of course have more to say, but it's been a long time, so got to cut it.
Well, hey, thanks for everyone for tuning in. This has been our boy Michael. This is the Michael Cast. Don't know how we're gonna clickbait this one. So this might be one of our lower viewed one because I'm
okay with that.
We've been hopping on the trending topics. I'm gonna figure out how to.
You should Photoshop it so Michael has a Lyme tattoo.
Shout out to Snaggy Design.
Yeah, shout out Michael's Etsy shop. We'll link it down below.
Etsy shop.
Buy your shit. Buy it up. You're gonna snag his shit.
I need to put more stuff on there, but
But yeah, shout out everyone that's listening. Make sure you like, you subscribe wherever you're listening. If you listen to audio, make sure you rate 5 stars. Michael's gonna be watching the video version of this because he can't see Jorai right now. He's gonna see how bad of friends we are when we're just laughing. But thanks for tuning in.
This might be our most.
I've made some bad jokes, so
probably our most audio friendly.
This is probably our most audio friendly episode by
far.
Not as loud.
This is the first pod that we've got into where we don't have like set topics we want to hit. We were just shooting the shit, liming it up.
I wrote down a bunch of stuff, and of course didn't bring it with me up here because I was gonna do it down there. But
well, thanks for joining us, Michael. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Love to come back.
Hey, we always finish on the back, always come on the back. We'll see you next time. All right.